What is up? I thought I would do something a little bit different this time, just speaking on stage, mostly because I wanted to feel special. Compound interest and the effect of it throughout your life. So we're gonna follow the story of someone and see how compound interest and how being a consistent investor allowed him to retire as a millionaire. If you know me, you know that this is my passion, okay? It's something that I get very, very fired up about. I fervently believe, okay, that financial security is one of the best ways to save yourself and your family from whatever inequity exists in this world. And as we know, there are a lot of them, okay? I'm not gonna preach in this video. That's not what this channel is about. But what this channel is about, tangentially, is helping people save themselves from those issues. The world is incredibly unfair, and we owe it to ourselves to use that to our advantage, all right? People like money. Money gives you options. The more of it that you have, the better. Obviously, we all know this. It doesn't matter what system you prefer existed or whatever. If you get a little bit of money now, then you might be able to make the world a better place on the way. So let's go ahead and talk about the power of compound interest. If you're new here, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff. I believe that everybody should too. Go ahead and give me a subscribe. Also, we're starting at the age of 34. I'm 34, right? So we're gonna talk about how my challenge account, which I started at zero a year ago, just passed $18,300 in my account, just investing $60 every single day. And I wanna see what that would look like through the lens of this gentleman right here. So this is Alex, okay? At the starting point, he's 34, my age, okay? He's feeling stuck. He's got $18,300 in his savings, and he's watching inflation slowly eat away at his purchasing power. He's tired of earning 0.5% while life gets more expensive. Maybe that's you, okay? You see that gas is getting more expensive. You see that housing is getting incredibly expensive, and you just don't know what to do, right? You've been saving, but you're not investing because you're scared. You're so scared of losing money. I'm here to tell you right now, guys, you have to stop being scared. You have to take action, okay? So let's see what Alex starts to do. So this is the first thing that he does. He does some market research, right? So Alex discovers the stock market averages about 8% annually returns versus 0.5% on savings. Totally true. So the historical return of the S&P 500 is anywhere between 8 to 5%. Does it have years where it's down? Yes, we actually just experienced that pretty substantially, right? When Trump took office here in January, okay, the market took a little bit of a nosedive due mostly to his tweeting about tariffs. Okay, the market is back to all-time highs. So if you had remained consistent dollar cost average at those lows, you would have made a serious amount of money back, right? So that 6-month span seemed like a long time when you're in it, but really it wasn't that long at all, okay? Second thing that happened after doing that research, he had that reality check, right? Realizing to himself, I need to make my money work harder than I do. Absolute fact. And the last thing is making the decision. He committed to consistent investing instead of cash hoarding. You have to make a decision, okay? In your life, there are so many things that you could be doing. There are so many excuses, some valid and some invalid, have you, okay? I'm not saying that the excuses that you have, the reasons why it's difficult aren't invalid. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm not gonna help you. Your neighbor's not gonna help you. Your parents aren't gonna help you. Your brother, your sister, your cousin aren't gonna help you, because if they were, they would have. The only person who's gonna overcome whatever outsized friction or trouble that you have is you, okay? Some people gotta climb a mountain that's 10 feet. Some people gotta climb a mountain that's 100. Okay, the person who climbs a mountain that's 100 is gonna be a little bit stronger than the person who climbs a mountain that's only 10 feet tall. So go ahead and get climbing. Okay, so it all starts with building the investment daily habit, right? So first is figuring out where in your budget you can find money, okay? I do $60 a day. So Grubhub twice a day is $60. Very real. Okay, Grubhub is super duper expensive. I'm actually trying to cut back right now, even though I do pretty well. I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and money to me is not even really about what I can get. It's about the return on those dollars. And so I'm very acutely interested in saving money so that I can reinvest it in my business to protect my employees, the business, and things like that, and stuff like that. So cutting out Grubhub twice a day, you turn that into your $60 daily investment. Okay, this gives you $1,200 a month, or in this case, Alex, $1,200 a month, okay? And then you have to change your mindset. Small actions compound into massive results. Let's see if that's true, okay? So compound interest, super complicated. This is the math, okay? The definition for compound interest is the earning return on your initial investment plus all previous returns. I'll say that one more time. Compound interest is the earning returns on your initial investment plus all the previous returns. So the money that you put in is making money, and then the money that you made is making money. It compounds, it grows itself. This, by the way, is why the rich get richer without having to be great businessmen or anything like that, right? It's something that's often lost on people when we talk about the power of billionaires and how they remain billionaires. If you're a billionaire and you just have your money invested in things, your net worth will just continue to increase exponentially, and in most cases faster than you could possibly ever spend it, unless you're an idiot, which, you know, some of them actually are. Okay, so here's the math here. It doesn't really matter. You see your initial balances on the left, and then we have some math here. Okay, this is the rate, this is your monthly contribution, and then A is your account balance, you know, after however many number of years you have. N is the number of years. You don't need to know that. It doesn't really matter. It just shows you the equation if you want to do it yourself. Okay, so let's talk about his 30-year journey. Okay, his starting balance was $18,300. Let me go ahead and get out of the way here. Okay, right now, so I'm 34. If I started this right now at 34 years old, okay, my starting balance would be $18,300. Okay, in just 10 years, okay, my portfolio value would be at $248,000. $248,000. 44 isn't super old. Okay, I say that because I'm 34, so my reference point has changed, right? When I was in my 20s, I was like, oh crap, I can't imagine being 44. I can imagine being 44 right now. Okay, so if I started right now, I'd have $248,000. Does it make me a gazillionaire? No, but that's way better off than a lot of people are at 44, quite frankly. Okay, so regardless of where you are in this timeline, you have to start. Age 54, 10 more years, and I have a portfolio value of $744,000, right under $1 million. That's a good chunk of change, right? Nothing to scoff at. And at age 64, my portfolio value goes up to $1.8 million, right? Just by investing $60 every single day. And it's not me in this case, it's Alex. Remember, we're talking about Alex, we're not talking about me, okay? We're not talking about me, guys. So let's talk about the psychological milestones, right? These are gonna be some really, really, really exciting things for you if you follow in Alex's shoes. So the first is your first $100,000, right? There's this excitement that hits when you get six figures for the first time. I remember to this day, the first time I broke six figures, actually the first time I hit $40,000, which I should have put on here. $40,000 was a meaningful number to me. I don't know why. It just seemed like an amount of money I would never have in my bank account. So I remember when I cracked $40,000, I was like, holy crap, I was like, I got a lot of money. Then I hit 100,000 and that was cool, then two and whatever. $500,000, okay? $500,000, that's where you really start rubbing your palms together and you're like, yo, I'm up. I'm up, I could do a lot of stuff. People talk about investing in, you know, commercial real estate, I could do that. People talk about buying a Lambo, I could do that. It's a bad business decision, but I could, I have the cash, okay? Then at year 25, you're at that millionaire status, okay? You have $1 million in the bank, you can live comfortably, no emergency is gonna take you out. No emergency is gonna take you out, you know, back here either. But you have hit the millionaire status. You have a lot of options, okay? Remember, money gives you options, you have a lot. Let's talk about what happens next. Okay, so on this graph here, there's a difference. You can't really see this. I should have changed the colors here. So I'll call these out for you. Down here, this number is 600,000. This is 1.2 million, and this is 1.8 million. This is what happens if you save this amount of money over your lifetime. This is what happens if you invest it, okay? So a lot of you know people who are older, and they have a nice set of pocket change, right, from savings. See how much better they would have did had they invested. Most people don't invest because of fear. They're so afraid. They're afraid of loss. Okay, they're so afraid of losing that they can't even imagine winning. This doesn't just apply in finance, by the way, right? So some of you are so risk averse that you have no brain cycles left to even imagine how to win. You can't even think about or strategize how to win because you're so focused on not losing in your business, in your relationship, in your job, in the markets, okay? You have to commit a part of yourself to thinking about and strategizing how to win. And here is the result, okay? After 30 years, you end up with $475,000 versus 1.8 million invested in the market, okay? Here is what you need to do. You need to start today. You absolutely need to start today, okay? You need to start today, you need to automate everything, okay? And you need to find your $60. It doesn't matter if it's 60, it could be 50, it could be 40, it could be 20, it could be 10, it could be 70, it could be 80, it could be 200. Whatever it is, find an amount of money and then find an automated way to put that into the market, right? It could be daily like me. I'm doing daily just for the sake of the challenge. It could be monthly. It could be whatever it is, okay? You have to figure that out for yourself. But it's really, really important that you do this because Every single day that passes where you're not investing into the market, you lose out on the power of this graph. Compound interest relies on time. Okay, time is something that you're always spending, whether you want to, right? We're always thinking about spending money and things like that. Your time is getting spent. I'm using time right now to film this video. I could be doing anything. I could be doing anything in the world right now. I will not get this time back. And instead, I'm using it to make a video to try to convince you to change your financial future, because that's how much I care about it. Okay, this is the result. Okay, we've talked about it. I want to highlight this. Okay, this is a graph that I generated in ChatGPT. I'm gonna move out of the way of the text here in a second, I promise. This is a graph I generated in ChatGPT showing it over time. So a lot of you get so wrapped up in what happens down here, the 18,300, the savings that I started with. Okay, and it slowly goes like this. But look what happens. The line goes from being like this to like this. Okay, it goes from like this to like this as you get to this side of the graph, right? That's the power of compound interest. Okay, and this assumes that I'm not putting any more money in. I'm just doing $60 a day. What if I did $100 a day? If I did $200 a day? I've done the math, but go do it for yourself. I highly encourage you to type in compound interest calculator in your browser and do the math for yourself. Okay, the result is generational wealth that begins with the changes that he made, right? He now has almost $200 in the bank that he can invest and pass on to his offspring, or do whatever he wants with. Maybe you're selfish, you don't want to pass it on, you still got 200, or you still have $2 million. You have $2 million worth of options that you otherwise wouldn't have just by doing $60 a day, which is really $1,200 a month. Now, a lot of you are figuring out reasons to quit before you start. Saying, Forrest, I don't have $1,200 a month. Okay, do 100, do 50, do 10. Okay, imagine if your parents had did that for you. At the end of their life, they had something to give you. Okay, you owe that to whoever you're responsible for, and you owe it to yourself. Okay, stop being a quitter, stop giving up. You can do this. You can do this. Okay, I'm a kid from Belleville, Illinois. Okay, I didn't even want to go to college. The only reason I went to college is because I got recruited as a runner. Okay, then once I got to college, I realized my mind exploded. I realized how big the world was. And I realized that I could actually make money, that I could have an impact. Before that, I was just gonna do martial arts, teach martial arts in freaking Shiloh, Illinois. Look that place up. Fairview Heights, I think is where it was actually, close to Shiloh. Some small, bumfuck whatever, okay? I'm saying this to you because the excuses that you have only exist because the world is only this big to you. Okay, you need to step out of your comfort zone. Okay, look around the corner and see all the possibilities that arise for you. There are things that only you can do with the experience that you have, just like there are things that only I can do with the experience that I have being from Belleville, Illinois. Okay, but I couldn't do them if I stayed in Belleville, Illinois, and if I stayed with that same mindset. Okay, you have to break out of that mental prison for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for everybody who knows you, and most importantly, for yourself. Okay, it's nice to do things for other people, but the number one priority in yourself should be, in your life, the number one priority in your life should be taking care of yourself. Okay, the better off that you are, the more power that you have to affect the world however you want to affect it. Okay, now this is the last slide. I thought there was one more. That's perfect though, because I went on a little rant there at the end. If you found this video useful, please do subscribe to my channel. If you have questions, please do reach out to me. Join my Discord, right? It's focused on day trading, but it is a great community. I'll probably start like just an investment channel there where people can talk about long-term investing. I think that'll be really, really cool. Come hang out with us. I'm actually gonna do that. Yeah, so join. I'll put a link down below to my Discord. There's gonna be a long-term investment channel. It's totally free. You can come chat, share your portfolio. We'll talk about things that we're investing in for the long term there. Nonetheless, that is it. See you in the next video. Peace.